For further analysis, we are joined from Moscow by visiting lecturer at Higher School of Economics, Mr. Rami Al-Qalyoubi. Welcome to Qnews Economic Bulletin, sir. And let me start by asking you, how will the closure of Turkish airspace to Israeli flight affect Israel's trade, logistics, and transportation costs?
Obviously, Turkey is located in the heart of Europe, so any time its airspace is closed before any airline, it influences it negatively. But at the same time, actually this happens quite a lot, as airspace is often used as sanctions for some political reasons, as is in case between Russia and the West now. The same is for Israel and Turkey. So I think that Israel would find some neutral ways to go ahead and to fly beyond the Turkish airspace. So this is not critical, I think.
So you don't think that it will really affect the Israeli trade? What are the expected short-term and long-term effects on Israeli exports and imports due to the severance of economic and trade ties with Turkey, if it will be affected?
Well, of course, there will be a negative impact, because Turkey is an important trade partner for Israel and at the same time for Europe and Russia and the Arab world. So at this point, any deterioration of trade ties between Israel and Turkey will negatively influence the Israeli economy. But at the same time, as I mentioned, it will not be critical, because nowadays economy and trade are very diversified. So whenever some countries face sanctions, they can find counter-sanctions or some way to go around them.
Mm-hmm. Which specific sectors do you think of the Israeli economy are most vulnerable to the loss of the trade relations with Turkey?
Actually, I have a main victim will be trade, as Israel is a very expensive country in terms of labor and goods, but Turkey is a very competitive economy.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think
such important supplier is Turkey?
Mm. Right. Do you think the disruption would really affect Israeli companies that rely on Turkish markets, supply chains, or partnership?
I don't think that these companies will be destroyed, because actually, if we look on the Russian economy, for example, it's 2 times against sanctions imposed by about 50 countries. So when we speak about really bilateral sanctions between Turkey and Israel, which will have some negative effect, but it will not really lead to collapse of any of 2 economies.
Right, from Moscow, that was the visiting lecturer at Higher School of Economics, Mr. Rami Al-Qalyoubi. Thank you so much for your insights.